Good afternoon. It's Friday, January 8th, 2021, and this is Pastor Carl with your weekly update for St. Peter's United Methodist Church. I'd like to invite you to worship with us in person here at the church this Sunday at 8:30 or 11 in the morning, or you can worship with us online by way of Facebook or at our website, www.stpetersumc.com. And if you visit that website, you can learn more about the things that we do here as a church family. As I come to you today, our nation is still reeling over the events that unfolded this week in Washington. A group of people stormed the Capitol building in an effort to stop the legislative work that was taking place there. And around the world, people watched this violence unfold and asked the question, is this what America looks like? Is this what democracy really is? Well, Wednesday evening, I had my kids watch the news with me, and I told them, pay attention. You are seeing history being made here. One day, your children are going to ask you about it. They're going to say, do you remember that day, Mom? What was it like? Well, personally, I'm growing weary of seeing history being made. It seems like that's happening a lot lately. 2020 was certainly a year for the history books, and now 2021 seems to be off to a roaring start. Well, Wednesday night, I watched the news on several different networks, and I heard several different perspectives on the events. Some commentators referred to the people as protesters. Others called them patriots. Others referred to them as rioters. Some as thugs and terrorists. I even heard one news anchor call them mobsters. Well, what I saw, what we all saw, was this: people acting badly. We saw the long simmering ideological divisions in our country come to a boiling point. And folks, it's not the first time we've witnessed this over the past year. Angry protesters, burning buildings, and law enforcement in riot gear, these have become common scenes on the news. And as could almost be expected, Wednesday night, the talking heads continued to present their views in a manner which seemed intent on stoking the flames of division that are already there. In Mark chapter 3, verse 24 and 25, Jesus says, if a kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house is divided against itself, that house will not be able to stand. Right now, our nation is divided, and people on both sides are acting badly. There's no question that one of the greatest dangers facing us as we deal with this division is this: to what is our greatest loyalty? To whom is our greatest loyalty? Is it a person? Is it the ideology of a human institution like a political party or a group of activists? Or is our greatest loyalty to Jesus Christ? As believers in Him, we are one family united. We are the church. As Christians, our greatest goal should be to share the love of Christ with all people, to love all people regardless of who they are, how they think, or what they do. This world needs Jesus more now than ever. And we are called to make sharing His message of love, of hope, and eternal life our number one priority. At the end of the book of Judges, in chapter 21, verse 25, we read these words. In those days, there was no king in Israel. All the people did what was right in their own eyes. That's what I saw happening on Wednesday in the Capitol. People doing what was right in their own eyes. That's what has led to every problem we have in our nation and our world today. People doing what is right in their own eyes. Until people come to the knowledge of Jesus and understand the reign of God's kingdom, they will have no king. And they will continue to do what is right in their own eyes, regardless of the consequences. Now, they may have earthly leaders, and we will have earthly leaders. But earthly leaders, regardless of who they are flawed. Because, as Paul writes in Romans chapter 3, there is no one who is righteous, not even one. There is no one who has understanding. There is no one who seeks God. All have turned aside. Together they have become worthless. There is no one who shows kindness. There is not even one. All have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Brothers and sisters, if we want peace in our land, we need to turn our hearts and minds to the one true King, to the one true God. We are not going to find truth and life anywhere else. And we need to pray for all people in leadership positions, whether they be elected officials, community leaders, teachers, pastors. We need to pray for them to exercise godly wisdom in fulfilling their duties. Whether they believe in God or not, God can use them to fulfill his purpose and bring his kingdom of peace to this world. The events of this week remind us that there is much work to be done. So let's roll up our sleeves and get down on our knees, because that's the best place for us to begin. Remember, I am praying for you.